My typical day starts with a few errands. My first stop is the Missouri Baking Company on the Hill for some delicious Italian cookies. I then head to the Central West End to Whole Foods for some fresh fruit and the Cupcake Shop for an assorted dozen. From there, I go to the pharmacy to pick up Afrin and Gatorade, a blue one and a yellow one, and then I head home. I pick up my puppy and some balloons. My last stop of the day is to Mei Lee for some gluten-free chicken noodle soup. I am all set for my daily deliveries. On top of that, I text back and forth with several parents, and I speak on the phone with a grandma who is nervously preparing for her upcoming visit to St. Louis for Parent and Family Weekend. In the afternoon, I head to campus to meet my awaiting students. At the end of the day, I provided comfort for a sick student, helped make a birthday more special, and was there to troubleshoot several issues with parents. It's a win-win-win. The students are thrilled, their parents think I'm a goddess, and my day has gone so smoothly, I feel a little bit like a superhero. This is a normal day for me as the CEO of Mindy Knows, a local service that provides mom support for college families and their students. I can honestly say that I love what I do. Hold up, let's rewind and start from the beginning. My name is Mindy Horwitz, and I have a confession. I love to help people. You could say it's my passion. After I graduated college from the University of Wisconsin, I decided to go back to school to pursue my master's degree in social work. I thought I was going to become a therapist to help others in need. Shortly after graduating, however, I turned my attention to our 3 sons. I worked part-time positions in the community and social work, but my full-time job was mom. Fast forward to 2018, and our oldest son, Josh, was a first-year student here at Washington University in St. Louis, my hometown. I joined a Facebook page that was created for parents to help them. I quickly realized that parents from out of town were desperate for all kinds of things. They needed everything from birthday recommendations to doctors to storage solutions to tutoring. You name it, they needed it. I noticed a few threads. Every single day, a parent would get onto the page and ask where they could find a birthday delivery for their student. I would see a mom from Oregon telling a dad from Florida where the best dermatologist was in St. Louis. And bingo, the idea for Mindy Knows was born. There was a real need for parents from out of town to get information in St. Louis. I wanted to create a service where local moms could help out-of-towners with all the things they might need here in town. Everything from birthday surprises to therapists to storage solutions to tutoring. I also wanted to use my local expertise to help connect people with all the best resources that St. Louis has to offer. I felt conflicted because I knew that I had a good idea, and I wanted to put it out there before somebody else came out with the same idea. But I also knew that I wanted to launch my service in a well-thought-out manner at the beginning of an academic school year. I wanted to be professional from day one. So, in July of 2019, I launched Mindy Knows. 5 years later, I'm so proud to say that we're a successful operation. We have an amazing director of marketing and finance, a wonderful student intern, and a whole team of moms who are available to help at any point. We are a full-fledged membership-based service with a monthly, semester, annual, and 4-year option. Our business has grown every year, and our membership has as well. All this being said, this didn't come easily, and I'm here today to share a few lessons that I've learned in my years doing this. This is my story, but I hope that it will be helpful to you on your journey going forward. The first lesson that I'd like to share is that everybody has a superpower. My superpower is helping people. I love people. I love getting to know them, and I believe in the good in most everyone that I meet. If I could help everyone for free, I would. Early in Mindy Knows, just 2 weeks into the school year, I had a call from a mom. Her daughter was sick and needed to be seen by a doctor. I quickly sent her to a doctor who immediately instructed her to head to the ER. It was COVID, travel was difficult, and her family was across the country. None of us could have anticipated that she would be in the hospital for a full week. In fact, we thought that she would be discharged after a few hours. Every morning, I would reach out to her and ask her what she'd like for lunch and if there was anything that she needed from her dorm. I would meet up with her resident advisor and go into her room and get clean clothes and then go pick up her lunch. I knew she looked forward to my visits, and I knew her parents had such peace of mind knowing that we were here and that I was able to be with her daughter. But it was also meaningful to me because I knew what a difference I was making, and I was so happy to be able to be here for her during this difficult time. While this was a more significant issue, oftentimes the work I do is a little bit more random. I love making magic happen, like bringing a student a piping hot oat milk matcha right before an important midterm. Here in St. Louis, we rarely get snow, and when we do, our city doesn't handle it very well. In 2021, we had an actual snowstorm. I think we had 9 or 10 inches. I had a call from a mom. Her daughter was sick and needed a prescription from CVS. I looked out my window and all I could see was snow. There were no snowplows. I didn't want to say no to the mom because I knew how important it was that her daughter get her medicine, but I didn't know how I could help. I got to thinking and remembered that I have a friend who's a police officer in a local precinct right near the campus. So I reached out to my friend and asked her if she knew of anyone that could help. She found an off-duty police officer who was able to get to CVS, pick up the prescription, and drop it to my student. All of these experiences validate to me that what I'm doing is of real value to people. And I know that my ability to think on my feet and my connections in the community are a real asset to this university. This leads me to my second piece of advice, which is to know your own worth. I knew I had a good idea. I never doubted that, but I had no idea what it would take to bring it to fruition. I'm not particularly business-minded, and I had a whole host of new skills to learn. I had to learn to build a website and work with lawyers and work on billing, all these things. But most importantly, I had to learn to value myself. To launch my service in 2019, I took out an ad in the local newspaper, The Starting Line. It's the only newspaper that gets sent home to every family. The ad cost me $500, which was a lot of money at the time. But I was 100% convinced that once the ad came out, my Google Analytics would take a huge spike, my phone would ring off the hook, and people would fall in love with what I was doing and sign up for my service. Nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, my Google Analytics didn't move, my phone didn't ring, and I called the newspaper several times to see if it had actually been sent home. I realized at that point that this business was going to take a whole lot more hustle and energy than I ever anticipated it would. After being told for a full year what a great idea I had, I wasn't expecting this. But again, I had to lean in and believe in myself and know that I was onto something good. Believe it or not, soon after launching this business, I did develop a few skeptics and people who really didn't like what I was doing. This was so hard for me. I'm a people pleaser, and the idea that people didn't like me or what I was doing was a tough pill to swallow. I spent so much time focusing on them and worrying about them and trying to make everyone happy. But I soon learned that that was a waste and it wasn't a productive use of my time. So instead of focusing on the people that didn't believe in what I was doing, I surrounded myself by a whole slew of people who were there for me, believed in me, and gifted me countless hours of marketing advice and technology and legal terms and all the things that I needed to build this business. Now I hope to be able to be a cheerleader and pay it forward to all those people who have helped me and for my families. When COVID hit in 2020, it was just 8 months after we launched. Like everybody else, I was terrified. None of us knew what the future would bring. The students got sent home. We didn't know when they'd come back. I was obviously very nervous, but I had to continue to realize that I was onto something that was good and important and worthwhile to our community. So while it was an opportunity for us to pivot, we came out stronger, and I was more convinced than ever that we were an important resource for this community. So where does that leave us? 4 years later, we are still growing, building, and learning every day. I'm more confident than ever in what I'm doing. With my own children all over the world, I know how important this service is. My youngest son was in Europe this summer on a hiking trip, and he was so sick, I would have given anything to have had a Mindy Nose there. So I'm so excited to share that this coming year, we will be able to expand to several new campuses. I believe that my business resonates with people because we all need help at some point, and we need to support one another without judgment. This is my story, but what does it mean for yours? I believe that if you discover your superpower and truly learn to know your own worth, you will be on the path to success. I know from my experience and my students that there will always be opportunities to pivot, bumps in the road, changes of direction. But take it from me, find what you love, pursue it with energy and vigor. Surround yourself with people who build you up and make you stronger, and believe in yourself. And you will find that this is a recipe for success, fulfillment, and a bright future ahead. Thank you so much.